Hey folks, welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 16th of December 2021. Sorry I've been a bit quiet. I've had some issues with my computer. My old Lenovo laptop, which was about 6 years old, started to do things that made me slightly nervous. So before I was caught with my trousers down, I bought a new computer, and I've just had a bit of troubles finding a new computer that could do the things that I wanted it to do with the capacity that I needed for my programming. So it just took a bit of time to get that. But now it's done, and my computer is running, and I had to update a bunch of software because now this computer came with Windows 11, which was which is different. It's a different operating system, and so things were broken. So I had to spend quite a lot of time trying to get stuff to go. I still haven't resolved all the issues, but I think we're good to go, which is good. So today we're going to discuss some different trade ideas. Again, this is not investment advice. This is just me going over the pairs. And I must admit, I've been focusing an awful lot on crypto because crypto is respecting the software very, very much. And so what I've been using it an awful lot to help me get in and out of crypto trades because the accuracy is pretty remarkable, more so than on traditional assets. So I've done a lot of focusing on that. And so I think you'll probably see me begin to talk more about crypto as a result. So I've been doing a lot of testing. Okay, but we'll cover obviously Forex and other assets as well. So if we just begin and maybe run through some pairs now. If we look at the pound American dollar, we look on the weekly chart, where are we? Well, we are reacting at the highs here, as you can see. Okay, we have the lows, we have turning points here in price. We had a push lower, so liquidity exploration below price. It snapped back very quickly, and we returned to this area here. You can see here, price stabilized from this price point and began to rally, move higher, and test the upper edge of this trading range here. But currently, if you look at this, you can see that that we are beginning to break down. And looking at this, you can see that we don't really have a whole lot of demand until maybe just around here. And the reason we have this here is because we had these highs here, which were essentially some historically respected areas. So we had supply here. It was tested several times, and now price finally cut through it. And so the origin of that move is somewhere here in this price nodule. We can't see it, but you can see how price gapped down. Sorry, it opened here, came down, it came down pretty close to it, then we moved away. So something in here is responsible for removing this little one here. If you go to the daily chart, maybe we can get some clarity and see what that is. You can see that we had this here, which is a respected area. Okay, tested, price faked, we went through, we came down here, and then we went up. Okay, and so the area that was interesting is what's something in here. So we just mark this area off. You can see we've got it here. And so this would be an interesting area for us in the future. Okay, tested once, slingshot was pulled back, and this is currently where price is looking to settle for the time being. Painting a lot of white candles, we did not get a really nice price inefficiency that would lead me to believe that price would rebalance that price inefficiency. But what we are seeing is we're seeing the histogram telling us that it's time to begin to consider buying. So going to the 4-hour chart, you can see something going on here where we have, find the right tool. Lines. So we have this here and this here. You see how price is just trying to find a base. In the meantime, you can see that the asset strength between these two currencies, the pound and dollar, is just changing, but we are poking into daily demand. So we're probably going to see price wriggle higher. We also have liquidity void, a little one just here. This is pretty much balanced. Price did return to the base. We have this one here, which is pretty much rebalanced as well. But there's no supply in here at all. We do have something here, which is responsible for removing this one here, which was tested a couple of times. This one removed it, so this would be a good place to get out of a trade. Okay, so moving to the hourly chart to find some entries. And we already had a couple line up. We've had these lows tested again and again and again. You see how price kind of tested, move back in, tested, move back in. You see we're trying to advertise these cheap prices. Okay, then we had this area that was formed just here. Price came up, we tested it, we went up, and now we form this area here, which is kind of in line with a price-sensitive area here. Price raced down, and this is just liquidity exploration. We know this because we're at daily demand, kind of weekly daily demand, and so the obvious direction for this this asset is higher. Okay, and so looking to buy is definitely the best solution, or the idea for this. Okay, so if we move on, go to the Euro American dollar. Okay, so let's go to the weekly quickly and see what's going on. Yeah, we're nesting on this little continuation pattern. We zoom in a little bit. Let's get the drawing. Yeah, so we sat on this pretty nicely. The software found a really good area for us there. What I do like about this is that we have this price inefficiency here, so I'm thinking the price is going to do something like that. Okay, I updated my screen capture software and everything's been moved, so a little bit of confusion. So we have this, which is nice. Price raced down into it. What does that mean? That means that price is probably likely going to go up to around this area here. We also have this, which is unbalanced. The beginning of the sell zone is right here. And so we can expect the price is going to wriggle north, at least to here, before it continues, before it figures out what it's going to do. We also have this, which is a price inefficiency, the base being somewhere down here. Actually, we probably have something here. This is where the slingshots will pull back to. Okay, buy zone there. So I'm thinking we're probably going to wriggle north a little bit before we make any other big moves. So we go to the daily chart and have a look. Yeah, so we have, what is that tool? Delete it. Okay, so we do have price. If we study this weekly area a little bit closer, you can see that it's pretty messy. And so the real release point is here. So we really have to dissect this a little bit. So we had this here, which was tested several times. Here and here and here and here, and price finally went through it. So there's something in here. See, because price went up, tested it, we came down to this area, and this is where price released from. So there's probably something in here. Okay, but this is a lot of time consolidation. This is the one that's below it. This is the beginning of the buy zone, so maybe something around here. I don't even know what that is. 111.80, maybe around there. So that's what we have just here. But this is not a beautiful area, is it? By any means. What I do prefer is something like this, where there's more clarity. Have a test, 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 release. Okay, and so that originated from here. We have a little continuation, sorry, a little accumulation candle just there. And so this would be the place where I would expect price to at least have a little bounce. Okay, so zooming out. Yeah, we're still a little bit below price. And so what you can also do in situations like this is, if there is no clarity as to where it is, you mark off the area like that. Okay, this is the top of the area, this is the bottom of the area, tested, tested, removed, and then just use this as a zone to begin to buy. This is also the edge of the buy zone here. Okay, and so price tested that, and now we are, yeah, we reacted at least. So who knows what's going to happen, but I reckon we're probably going to revisit these lows here before we continue higher or lower. Okay, we're also really low here, as you can see. So I'm thinking that we'll probably begin to wriggle higher to rebalance this, potentially move up to this little price nodule responsible for removing this, and then either continue lower to a deeper level or accumulate below and rebalance this price inefficiency, and essentially this one. This is a beautiful area up here, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, right, so let's move on. The American dollar, Japanese yen. it's funny, because I mean, you're looking at the markets and you're seeing what's going on, and you're seeing these equity prices continuing to rise, and I just sit there thinking, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? I mean, the crash of all crashes. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. You just don't know when. But I reckon early next year, things are going to go crazy, really, really crazy. But we'll see. Nobody knows. So if we look here on the American dollar, Japanese yen, go to the weekly chart. So again, we're testing like these highs here, beginning of the sell zone for this area of supply here. Let's use this tool. It's been tested several times. Yep, so depending on what this does, price could rally up and then come back down. But what I see when I see this here, you can see how this little piece here looks a little bit like price was moving sideways, and then it moved down, and then it moved up, and now we're looking strong. When you have a box like that and price escapes the box and it moves below price, that normally means that price is going to go higher. If the opposite occurs, where you have price doing that like so, well, then that's an indication that price is probably going to go the other way. And so this is simply liquidity exploration. We're flushing stops, we're advertising high prices for selling, or if it goes below, we're advertising low prices for buying and flushing stops on positions that the institutions can scoop up to help facilitate the filling of the trades on their books. So that's what we have just there. So knowing that, we have to find somewhere else. And looking at this, I mean, we have this sell zone is just there. That would be a very interesting area, because when price was up here last time, we saw a very sharp decline in price for several months. But we're pretty much done with this. I mean, this wick here, remove that. So going on the daily chart and having a look, you can see what we want to do is, remember, we want to find these things. We want to find liquidity and price inefficiency. But ideally we want to see really nice ones. So you want to see one here, sideways, another one, sideways, and then another one. If you have three like that, I mean, that's really, really good, and that means that price will have to begin to move lower. But we don't really. This isn't super pretty, but we do have a few. This one and this one. So what I do like about this is that we probably have divergence here. Yes, very clearly, really strong divergence. Boom. And so the obvious trade would be to short just here and ride it down to the most obvious area of support, which would be below just here. Okay, this is just a very beautiful trade. Price left here. We remove the micro demand here, which was tested several times, gone. We moved below this low, gone, and we kind of cleared the road until at least here. So this is the buy zone. Okay, so that would be maybe a 1 to 2 risk reward, roughly, if I'd have drawn that problem a 1 to 2 properly, rather. And so this is a pretty interesting trade setting up there that you could keep your eyes on. Okay, having a look at the American dollar, Japanese yen. Sorry, American dollar, Canadian dollar. Let me delete all these. Okay, where do we have liquidity voids closest to price? We have this one. We have a little bit here. So this is going to be a natural place for price to gravitate to. We have this one. We have this one. So we do have two below and two above. And the ones below are closer to price. We also have this right here. This is demand because it removed this. Tested, removed. The origin of it is here. Okay, so this is the buy zone. Tested, tested, tested. Now it's gone. What area did it? This one did. And so this is where we would look to short the area that removed this, just here. Okay, so if I put a box on that so we can see the price points, it would look something. Actually, it's already drawn it, but if we just do the whole area, we have something that looks like that. And also, we have There's a 1.3035 area. And if you look below price, we've got this as well. So price could move down. And we have these lows here. The price moves up into this. We could easily see this move lower. But we'll see. There's also been a bit of talk by, I don't know where I read this, but there was some talk about the Fed. They were talking about interest rates and hiking interest rates next year. I mean, that's pretty bullish. But it's a double-edged sword, because while it'll attract flows into the American dollar, it will also cause the economy to suffer, because people will not be able to pay off their debts because of increased interest rates. And so, yeah, my opinion is that the Fed let inflation get out of hand, and now fixing it with interest rates, which is what you would normally do, is actually a huge punishment for those who are over leveraged and loaned money while it was cheap to grow their businesses, build their businesses. But then COVID hit, and then there was no one to buy the products, and so it's like two hits in the head, really. Number one, you're over leveraged because money is cheap. Number two, your businesses aren't selling what they normally would, so you have a huge, very, very high degree of over-leveraged loaning, and over-leveraged because there are no earnings to pay off the debt, and so it's an absolute nightmare waiting to happen. And so, yeah, we'll see. I don't know, carnage around the corner. So that's what we have there. Let's have a look at the Aussie American dollar. So what do we have? So, I mean, very close to price. We've got this one, and this is like an inefficient low. So price came down here. We only hung out there for 1 week, maybe not even 1 week, and then we left. So price should ideally revisit this area here. This is a nice period of time where price spent significant amount of time, months, in this area before we left. So there's a lot of transacting at this area here before price left. But here it's like down and gone. So there's no transacting, or limited. And so price will often revisit these areas here. We're already told to start to sell around here. The histogram told us. And now we have a very clear downtrend. We're removing these lows. And we have price inefficiencies below price. And so, I mean, the clever thing to do would be to sell at supply. Okay, so we have to find these areas that are responsible for removing opposing areas. Let me just find this. So if we have one of these, boom, boom, like this. Price went up, now we went low, and so there's something in here that is responsible for moving price below. We had something here. Okay, now it's gone. What removed it? This did. Okay, it was tested once. It's gone. The area that did it is this one. Okay, this one is gone. What area did it? And this one. It was tested. Now it's gone. What area did it? Something in here. We can't see what it is. So let's go to the smaller time frame and have a look. Let's go to the 4 hour. Zoom out a little. Yeah, so we've got something here. You can kind of see it actually. We had this, which has already been tested. Okay, so we have this area, child, kind of poked up into that area, the 7200 area. 0.7200 area. Tested it, retraced. We have the sell zone deeper, and so now we have this. And so, looking at this, we have this to be dealt with. We also know that we have a lot down here to be dealt with, so we want to be selling. And so we want to find these micro areas that are interesting in this little leg here. Okay, so we zoom out a little. We've got this one here. Okay, which has not quite yet been tested yet. We also have this one here. The reason this one here is because we had this nice area. It was tested, it held, and now it's gone. And price moved back in and then left. So there's something here. Another one here, test, test, removal. What area did it? This one did. So we have 3 areas that we could trade. So zooming back in again, you can see what these look like. So we have these ones here. It's like, this is probably much clearer on the smaller time frame. Got a sell zone right there. Go on. So you have something here, or maybe you could say that this is the supply, and this is the sell zone, just here at the, oh, I can't read that, 73.02. We also have this one, which is close to price. Depending on how price races up to that, maybe we could have like a trade that would hold for a few hours that maybe racing up into the area, price inefficiency, rebalancing, get out of the trade before price continues up to these other levels here. So we have a few options on this one. Go like that. Super good. Okay, so let's have a look at something else. Let's have a look at the Euro British Pound. They're going to the weekly. Where are we? Well, we've got a range, like a pretty clear range. We've got a box. So do this. We've got a mark. Let me use a different tool. We've got this. Got something like this. Okay, when you see something like that, you've got to try and get it to fit as best as possible. On the closes is best. And you say, where did price attempt to move? Had a test here, we didn't go beyond. Had a little one here, a big one here, a slow but good one here. Okay, and so you have to ask yourself the question, I mean, this area of value, which is probably clear on the monthly. So let's go there. Okay, where did price try to go but fail? It tried to go above but failed. It hasn't really tried to do anything here. It tried but failed. You know, so I mean, I would be looking to sell the Euro British Pound because of this and because of the attempts to run price higher. What's this again? This is a liquidity exploration. So I think that price is likely going to wriggle down and attempt to return back to these historical areas of value. Okay, we have this one here, which is interesting. It's gone. This one removed it. It's gone. This one removed it. So that would be a really nice target for a trade in here. So going to a smaller time frame, let's say the daily, excuse me, and having a look at some areas that are interesting. We have one right there. We have this. Okay. We had this that was tested. I'm going to use a different tool to do the analysis so it's quicker, so I'm not waiting. So we had this. It's tested several times. It's gone. This one did it. Tested, tested, tested. Removed. Something in here did it, but man, that's ugly, isn't it? I wouldn't be keen about trading that, but I would be more comfortable trading that. So this could be a really interesting area to sell. Up there, the software's found it nicely for us. Going to a smaller time frame just to try and pinpoint those areas a little better. Well, that's difficult to do, isn't it? Just jumping onto that chart. So let me mark it off here, and we can go down. This one. This is the one that was removed. We need to see what that looks like on the 4-hour. So where did it go? Here. So this is where we have that removal. Okay, so price came down. This is super unattractive price action, so I wouldn't be too keen about doing that. Well, you might see some reactions at around here, but price has already traded this area out. This is the only area that I think is interesting, so I would say that this is the origin of this move, and we were able to mark that as well on the other chart, I think. Yeah, I mean, we saw it pretty here, the 80, about the 0.9 price point, pretty far away from price, about 500 pips, but nonetheless. So what you could do now is you could take longs, you could take long trades as price rebalances, and the long trade that would be interesting is we had, I'm going to use a different tool until I find it. we had here, test, test. This one removed it. Boom, boom, boom. This one removed it. I'll probably do the whole area. So this is the buy zone. And so expecting price to move back into here before it rebounces what we saw just a second ago. So that's what I have to say about that. 25 minutes. Wow. Okay, so let's get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin. All right. So Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin doing? Well, Bitcoin is selling off. So what's going on here? So, okay, so let's have a clear look. It's something in here. Okay, it was tested. This area, removed it. This area right here. Matter of fact, I think we discussed this area. We posted that in the room. Price sat on it and then cut through it. So this is the supply to trade at. Demand. So there's demand, and we had this. It was tested, and we had this one, which was tested. So this could hold. So selling here and getting out here. Alternatively, getting out here and following up here. Something like that. Buying at the buy zone just here. We do have this, keep in mind. We do have this as well, this price inefficiency just here. Marking off the lows. If I just draw a line, we have something like right around there. That would be the buy zone. That's really cheap, isn't it? That's about $28,000. So something in here might be interesting, but keep in mind that it could go either way because we do have liquidity distribution patterns on both sides. But if we look here on the 4-hour chart, we're going to find these areas for us. So we had a nice reaction here. It was removed by this, just tested, so that's still holding. And this is the one that I think is very beautiful. That'd be a really nice place to buy because we had, let me see if I can zoom. Okay, so we had this, it's tested, price came down, and we're also doing this. This is kind of one of those things, and then price just accumulated and then just went boom, boom, and so this would be a really, really beautiful area to look at, to buy. So keep your eyes on that. In Ethereum, we have the same thing. The level is at 3,027 or something. We have a look at that. Yeah, 3,027. So this is the area that I'm waiting for, although I did buy yesterday down here. So I bought down here. I don't know how far this is going to go because ideally, I can see price coming back to here because this would be an ideal price point. But I'll watch it today and I'll see what happens. But we did manage to get in the lows here based on the machine learning stuff that we've been posting in the room. I'll show you what that looks like. So Ethereum, this is kind of like a sideways thing, which we'll see what happens. I don't know actually what's going to happen. This is the first run for today, so I have to do several runs to find one I like. Bitcoin's looking like this. BNP, that's obviously, see, I got to rerun that one because that's not looking very handsome. Yeah, and we have this one here, Luna. So I'm just running this on a bunch of different ones. USDT, that's pretty solid, I think, just kind of moving sideways. And we have this one on Solana. Another rerun. That is Cardano. We have this one. This is XRP, just continuation lower. And so what I'm doing, here we have Doge, continuation lower. And then this one here, this is Shiba. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at this stuff. When I find the model that I like, it takes a couple of attempts. Then I'm just using this to help me make sense, give me a directional bias. Okay, and so this one I don't really like. I don't really like this one, so I'm going to rerun these, but I have to consider all of the information that I'm getting from when the model is running, and use that to adjust the templates that I'm using to feed into this. So it just takes time. But I really like this, so I think this would be a super nice place. This could be a place where we see Ethereum turn around and just go and just leave, because that would bring us down to this price nodule. Let's do it on this chart so we can see where it'd be. Yeah, that would be a really nice area. That would be like a real origin, where you boom down, and that would be just a nice. That'd be just a very beautiful full retracement to the origin before going higher. But what we're seeing something slightly different, where we're actually returning to an area that we would expect, and that is here. We tested a couple of times. I don't know what's in here, but there's something in here. You know what? Let's just have a look and see what's in there. Zooming out. Yeah, so, there it is. If we go like this, you can't see it on this one, so maybe the hourly chart. Okay, so actually it's difficult to see. Let me put a line on here. Put a line on there, go to the hourly. See, that's exactly where it would have come to. Right there, that's beautiful. And why is that? Let's see, this is what I was telling about how this stuff is like clockwork. This is that area that we just saw. Actually, let me put this on. Okay, this is where we tested. Come on. Okay, just a really nice continuation pattern. Boom, boom. Price goes to it. We test it once to the pip, again to the pip. This one removes it, and this is where price comes to the pip. It's crazy. And so because of that, I bought here. Also because of this, and on the 4-hour chart, it was doing something similar. We're also getting like a very sharp decline into the buy zone. Come on. There it is. See, we're having this, and so I just felt confident getting back in to these trades here based on this, and also the deep learning model that I wrote. But I like this one here. This is like just a beautiful area. But just because it's beautiful, it doesn't mean the price is going to go there. Okay, so we'll do one more, and that will be XRP. XRP, where's XRP headed? I think XRP could see huge returns. God, I hate MT4 data. Look at that. Everything's doubled up. It's very ugly. Okay, so let's look here. Where are we? Okay, so we're just reacting. Let's go to them weekly. Wow, we're getting really low, aren't we? Okay, so zooming in a little. And we had this. Tested, removed. Something down here. Tested. Went up here. We had something up here. It was removed by this. And so rolling all those back and trying to attach some lines on here. You have it right there. You can't see what's here. There is certainly something there. We'll go to the 4-hour chart when these boxes load. Come on. Okay, so back to this one. There it is. That's exactly where it is, right there. Beautiful area. Tested. And we have this one. Removed it. And that was tested several times. Now this one is gone. What area did it? Well, you can see this area of distribution. There's a pin bar just there. I got to zoom in so you can see the pin bar just here. And so there's something there which we cannot see. That was tested several times. This one's gone. Boom. Tested. tested, and then it still held. Okay, so that one's still in play. Okay, but this one is gone. That one's still in play, and so we have to focus on what we have down here. So we'll have a look at that in a second. We have something here. Okay, tested several times. This one removed it, which we drew already. So if we try and refine that area by going into the 4-hour chart, we can maybe see what this is as well. Yes, so here we have, I prefer this. Okay, because the reason I prefer that one is because I like this one better. We have this one here, tested once, twice, and what one removed it was something down here did. Right there, and you can see here we had supply, tested, price came down to the release point just here, but I don't like that because price has already been here, so I would definitely do something like that. I'd rather do something like that. That is the better trade because this is the release. The beginning of the buy zone would be around here. Okay, so that's what we have there. What price is that? Let's have a look. The 67 cents area about. That'd be a pretty decent area. Okay, but we'll see, because I think that XRP, once this SEC case is over, and once there's a friend was telling me the other day who's really into XRP that there's a lot of stuff going into XRP where the liquidity is being used by some huge institutions, so XRP could really go to the moon. It could really take off, but we'll have to wait and see. Nobody really knows at this stage. Good, I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, please let me know, and thanks for watching. Sorry this got long as well.